7 of their daughters were already gone. Tonight it was coming for the 8th. Susanoo, the storm god, had been thrown out of heaven for the wildness of his temper, and he came down to earth in the country of Izumo with nothing but his sword. He walked until he came to a river, and there he stopped, because something small was turning in the current at his feet. It was a chopstick. Plain, worn, carved by somebody's hand. A chopstick does not grow in a river. That meant people. He turned and began to walk upstream, following the water up into the hills to find them. He found them in a clearing, an old man and an old woman sitting on the ground, weeping, with a young girl held tight between them. He asked why they were crying, and the old man said that they had had 8 daughters, and that this one, Kusanagi, was the last. Every year, he said, a thing comes down off that mountain. It has 8 heads. Every year it takes one of them. 7 years, 7 daughters. And tonight is the night it comes again, and there is only her left to give it. Susanoo looked at the mountain for a while, and then he said, "Give me your daughter as my wife, and I will kill it for you." The old man asked who he was to promise such a thing. "I am the brother of the sun," said Susanoo, "and I have come down from heaven." So they agreed. And the first thing he told them was not to run, and not to hide, but to start brewing sake. "Brew it strong," he said. "Refine it 8 times over, until 1 cup would put a grown man on the floor." Then he had them build a fence around the yard, and cut 8 gates into it, 1 gate for each head. And behind every gate he set a great vat, filled to the brim with the 8 times sake, and then they waited for the dark. The old couple hid inside. Susanoo stood in the shadow of the fence with his hand on his sword, and the wind stopped. Then a whole shoulder of the mountain began to move, and come down the slope towards the house. It was longer than 8 valleys. Pines and moss grew along its back. Its eyes were red like hanging lanterns, and it had 8 heads and 8 tails. The heads came over the fence and smelled the sake, and each one found a gate of its own, and pushed its way in. 8 heads went down into 8 vats. There was no other sound in the valley but drinking. They drank the vats dry. Then the great heads sagged, and slid down, and lay along the ground, and the monster began to snore. Susanoo came out of the shadow and drew his sword, and he cut. He cut until the valley was quiet and the river below ran red. Then, in the 4th tale, his blade struck something that was not flesh, and chipped, and would not go through. He opened the tale carefully, and inside lay a sword, a magnificent blade nobody on earth had made. He sent it up to heaven, and it is called Kusanagi, and it is one of the 3 great treasures to this day. He married Kusanagi and built a palace on the hill above the river, and in all the years that followed, nothing ever came down that mountain again. Like, comment, subscribe, and watch the next tale.